Hey everyone, it's Natalie, also known as Knitty Natty. Today is day 1 of Sock Week 2022. By the time you're watching this, Sock Week is already going to be over, so you may even know if I was able to accomplish this goal. But right now, I am going to be in the moment, updating you every single day on my sock progress throughout the 8 days of Sock Week. If you're happening upon this video and you missed Sock Week, I've got more information about it down below, and we will be doing it again in 2023. Okay, so this is my goal. I have made one sock for each of our 3 Sock Week sponsors from this year. These yarns are no longer available, but I will have the shops linked down below because they are wonderful dyers and makers, and you should definitely go support their small businesses. So I'm planning to make the mate of each of these socks during the next 8 days. Ooh, you know what I didn't grab? Hold on. Coming back. Dun, da, da, da. My handy dandy notebook. I have made a plan for myself, and it sounds really good right now. We're gonna see how it works out. But basically I've got a plan for how I'm going to manage these 3 socks over the next so many days. Actually, don't like how that's like too high. There we go. Okay, so my plan is as follows. Here we go. I am planning to, today, Sunday, July 10th, knit all 3 cuffs. The next day, part of the leg. The next day, the other part of the leg. Then the heel midweek. The next day, part of the foot, the toe, and I've left myself on next Sunday, July 17th, some buffer time because I definitely think I'm going to need it. So let's see where we're at. It is 1:32 p.m. on Sunday, July 10th right now. We just finished the Sock Week cast-on party on YouTube, which was so much fun, but I actually started last night at midnight. We did a membership Zoom for a midnight cast-on party, and I started the second to this sock. So this is the Little Wolf Knits, and oh, I do have the labels here. Hold on. Today's update will probably be the longest one because I've got to introduce all these amazing socks to you. Okay, so this one is the Little Wolf Knits, and the color is called Up at Dawn with the mini called Shark. Yeah, there we go. And on her Sunfish base. And this is what my sock is going to look like. This is the Totally Rad Ribbed Sock by Summerly Knit. I'll have all my project pages down below so that you can check them out and see all of the details. I'm putting even the notes on like how I'm doing stitch count changes because I am making the rest of the socks perfect fit. So if you want to see those, you can see those. So I started last night at midnight on this sock, and I have done, oh, I don't even know, maybe 12 rows of the 32 that I need to do. And then this will fold over and be a folded hem. And so that's my goal for today, is to finish that folded hem there. Okay, next up, I am going to be starting this later today. I haven't started it yet, but I've got this all wound up and ready to go. What's going on here? Got my needles, I've got my yarn. This was my swatch that I probably don't need anymore, but I was just hanging on to. So I've got this all ready to go. I'm going to be casting these on later today. I'm kind of thinking I may go to the dog park with Toaster and cast these on because I'm pretty sure, did I do one of these at the park? I don't remember. I feel like I started on one of the socks at the park, but this one's just going to be a simple 2x2 rib. And so I'm going to get that started and cast on later today. And again, my goal is to do the cuff, 20 rounds of 2x2 rib. Last one, I am just getting started casting on. I tried to cast this on during the cast on party on YouTube, but that did not happen. Oh, I forgot to show the yarn for that one. We'll come back to it. This one is Olivia and Oliver Fibers out of the Netherlands, and her color is called Baby Shark with the mini called Bellini, and they are so cute. This is what the sock turns out looking like. So pretty. And I'm going to be doing 19 rounds of 1x1 ribbing here. It's 19 instead of 20 because I was knitting these out and about in a place where I couldn't count and I accidentally did 19 rounds. So we're going to make the second sock to match, saving me about 1.5 minutes, which will be great. Okay, back to this one because I didn't show the label. This is Yarn Over New York, a local dyer to me. And the color is called Tiger's Eye Shark. So fun. I will have all 3 of these dyers along with all the other sponsors for Sock Week linked down below. Oh, come back. There we go. While they may not have Sock Week stuff anymore, they do have lots of other beautiful things in their shops. Okay, I don't want to make this too long because I do want to update every single day, but today, Sunday, the goal is to do all 3 cuffs. So here's where we are at now 1:36 p.m. and I will check in with you tomorrow and let you know how things go. Today is Monday, July 11th, and it is day 2 of Sock Week. So yesterday did not go to plan. We may already be in trouble, but it's okay. I'm adapting. Just got done with a YouTube live and actually did a little knitting then and kind of came up with a plan. Okay, so yesterday I really wanted to finish the cuff on 3 of my socks, and I got the cuff done on 0. But again, it's fine. I've got a new plan. So I didn't get 0 knitting done. I just didn't quite complete any of the cuffs. But I did start 2 of my socks. So I am almost done with the cuff on this first sock, which is my Totally Rad ribbed socks. So my plan today is to, right now, I'm about to take a lunch break. I'm going to finish this cuff so that 1 cuff is done. I've already started knitting together the folded hem here for this cuff. So I'm going to finish that one up first. Then yesterday I got, well, let's see, I did most of this actually this morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I've done 15 out of 19 rows on this cuff, which means I only have 4 to go. So after I finish the first cuff, I'm going to finish this one and then set this sock aside. I think I can do both of those during lunch today, which leaves me with the sock that I have not cast on yet, which is my Yarn Over New York wonderful sparkle sock. So right after that, I'm going to cast on that one and I am going to do this cuff. So I'm going to get all 3 cuffs done today for sure. I cannot let today go by without finishing yesterday's goal. Now, I kind of want, so let me get my notebook out, like old me would have felt like I needed to then also catch up on today's goal, which is to do half the leg. So I still need to do 1.5 cuffs and then also do half the leg on 3 socks. That's just not realistic and I'm not going to stress myself out with that. So instead, here's my little schedule. I'm going to go ahead and knock off yesterday's goal 1 cuff at a time. I think that's going to help me build the momentum instead of going ahead and starting this 3rd sock, which is what I want to do. I'm going to knock each of them out. And then I'm going to do 1/3 of tomorrow's or today's goal. So I'll do 1 of the legs. And if I get anything more than that done, that will be a bonus. And I'm kind of hoping that if I keep doing that, like, I guess, actually, we can kind of look at that here. We'll know for sure tomorrow. If I continue doing 1 day and a 3rd, so if I do 1 day and a 3rd, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I will be caught up. Wait, I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit. But basically, instead of trying to double up my knitting today, I'm gonna try to just do a little bit more and a little bit more. But yeah. That's my plan for today. I have, let's see, it's lunchtime. I'm gonna definitely get these 2 cuffs done and hopefully start the 3rd. Then later today, I'm going to be walking to Pilates, and I can knit on my cuff, my newest cuff, hopefully this one, while I'm walking to Pilates. And then tonight is the Bachelorette, and it is a new season starting. So I'll have 2 hours to sit on the couch and knit, and I'm hoping to get a lot done then. So hopefully when you check in with me tomorrow, I have gotten a lot more done. It is Tuesday, July 12th, and today I am in Central Park because I have a bunch of appointments today. So I'm just stopping in between, going to different things, walking to different things. I'm actually going to be doing my YouTube live today in Central Park. So I have been walking around to find an area that's like shady enough and quiet enough, but also not too far away from people that I'm like totally isolated and I don't know, not safe. Like somebody could run up while I'm distracted and take something, but not to worry, I'm in a good spot. So I got so much done yesterday. So actually I wanted to show my schedule first, and I've made some revisions because day one I got really behind, but I have a buffer day built in, so I'm not really worried about it so much. Now my goal is to kind of do basically 1 1/3 of everything that I was planning each day until I catch up, which should be tomorrow. Okay, so I am now all caught up from the very first day, and this is where we are now. So my goal for today is to do the first half of each of the legs. I need to cross this one out because I've already done the first half of one leg. So the first half of each of the second and third legs, plus finish the entire leg of a third sock. And each day I'm just kind of chasing things. Actually, I think that means that I will be caught up on, today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll be caught up, I think, by Friday. Anyway, 2.5 legs on the sock is my goal today. So the one I've been working on so far is my Olivia and Oliver, and I've been finally put in markers. So this is where I was this morning, started on the leg, got a lot done with my 30 minutes of reading and knitting, and then on the walk to my first appointment, and then on the walk here, and I'll continue as I'm walking. I'm sure get more of that done. That's just going to be a plain leg, so maybe I'll get the whole leg done on that one with the transition and everything. And then I finished the cuff on my yarn over New York, and hopefully I can get all of my plain rows done on this today. So I'm doing perfect fit socks for these two that I just showed, and so I have basically just plain rows for the leg and then a transition before I go into the heel. So I want to get to that point because the transition's only 1 inch, so it actually won't take that long. And then on my other sock, my last one, my Little Wolf Knits. Oh, I hope you can hear the birds. I got into the leg last night. So I finished the cuff. I got all my cuffs done before dinner, which I believe I said was my plan. It was in my head if I didn't say it out loud. And then I got part of the leg done on this one. This one's the longest leg because it's got still, like, I've done that part. It's got 3 inches of ribbing plus my heel transition. So that one's going to take me the longest, which is why I'm not trying to get through all 3 legs today. So if I can, this is my goal for today. Finish this leg in its entirety. Finish this leg in its entirety. And then get this one into the ribbing. I think if I can get it into the ribbing, like, that will be good, maybe part of the way through the ribbing, and then that would leave me to finish up the leg tomorrow and at least be caught up with what I was intending to finish today, which is leg day 2. So that's it for today, and I will check in again tomorrow. Today is Wednesday, July 13th, and it is day 4 of sock week. I am behind again, behind my new schedule, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna write up a new schedule today, but first I'll share what I've gotten done. So even though I am not where I wanted to be, I'm actually like kind of have a refreshed attitude today. Not that I didn't have like a motivated attitude yesterday, I just felt really tired, and today I feel like I finally got like a good night's sleep, and I allowed myself to do some resting yesterday, and I have more rest coming up today, and during my rest time I can actually knit. It's so funny that like this blows my mind every time, but like because I'm also running and coordinating sock week and hosting events and stuff, I'm not always getting the time to knit on my socks. And I'm like, hello, Natalie, you have to plan some time for yourself to actually get to participate. So I've revised my schedule, but first let's look at what I did yesterday. So I actually did quite a lot of knitting yesterday, and for that I am proud of myself. The goal was 2.5 full legs, and I got 1.5, I would say, done. So I did finish the full leg on my Olivia and Oliver socks. So all the way down to where I am totally ready to start the heel from that stitch marker there. So I'm gonna move my stitch marker down, and probably won't work on this sock anymore today. I think I finished up actually the last few rows this morning on that. Here's some New York City ambiance. I did not work on this sock at all yesterday, but I'll talk more about plans for that in just a second. And then this morning, I have done all this stockinette here. That's not bad. So I did a little bit during my 30 minutes of knitting, and then I did a little bit more on a phone call with my mom, and then on a phone call with somebody else. And so anytime I can get in some knitting, I'm working on those plain little bits. And last night we had an interview with Boston Jen, and I learned a lot from her on like how she kind of thinks through and plans through projects. And she said that she always has a sock ready to do just a plain stockinette part, and at least a few socks sometimes. And I'm like, why did I not think of that? So that has me thinking ahead, because I'm actually going on vacation soon, and I want to go ahead and get a sock started over the weekend and through the cast on at least, so that I can do some easy knitting on that. So let's talk about the new plan. So what I've been doing is kind of scratching out and adjusting my original plan here and kind of getting caught up. And we're now on the 13th, and I should be working on the heels, but I still have actually marked out too many things here. And once I did that, I was like, you know what? I think it would be better for me to just take a look at what's left of the week and what's left to knit and make a fresh schedule. I think that will just be more realistic, especially after putting out an Instagram post yesterday about, like, you know, don't expect yourself to, if you have been not meeting your daily goals, don't expect yourself to then double up on your daily goals. Something needs to change. Maybe you're asking too much of yourself to be knitting all of this. And then it didn't occur to me that I should probably follow that advice too. So I've made a new goal, and I've done it in some fun blue that makes me think of sock week. And then the pink is actually some of the other projects that I've been wanting to work on too. So I'm like, let me just be totally realistic about this and put in everything. Just kind of realized that because I have the city, look how beautiful. Because I have the city behind me, it doesn't focus on me quite as well, but that's all right. Okay, so this is my new plan for today, and I've now included Sunday as part of my plan instead of having Sunday as a buffer day. In my head, what I realized I was thinking is I really want to finish by Saturday, and I'm like, you know what? It's okay to use the buffer day on Sunday now that I've needed it. So let's just include Sunday in the plan. So my plan for today now is to finish the second and the third leg. So that means finish the whole leg on this sock, which is going to be quite a lot of knitting, just plain knitting, and then finish the leg on this sock, which I've done part of it already, so that's good. I'm part of the way through the leg on both socks, but I do have quite a lot to do on that one too, because it's got a bunch of ribbing. So it's going to be a lot of knitting today. So that's what I'm going to do. My brain wanted to give me more to do today, like let's get started on at least one heel. But you know what? I think that is not going to be realistic, and I'd rather do a realistic goal. And then I'm going to also, if I get these two socks done, I'm going to work on my twisted t-shorts, which I've been sitting waiting with like 8 rows left. So I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just kind of incorporate things in more realistically than not. So hopefully when you see me tomorrow, I will have all of the legs done, and then I will share the rest of the plan from there. Today is Thursday, July 14th, and it is day 5 of sock week, which means we're officially halfway as of like midnight last night. There are only 4 days left, including today. So this is where it gets like kind of hard. I can definitely tell. I was just on a YouTube live with some of the people in our group that are working on socks, and you can kind of tell it's like either they've been going gung-ho and it's time to take a break, or maybe you're getting a little discouraged because you're not exactly where you wanted to be. And so just trying to work around like changing plans, encouraging, dealing with disappointment, and like adjusting goals is just something that I am learning myself. So I'm trying to like share that. So I am proud of myself because I have finished my goal that for yesterday. I actually didn't finish it yesterday. I finished it this morning, but it is done. Aside from the additional project I wanted to do that wasn't a sock week project. So yesterday's 2 legs are finished. I just didn't get to my shorts. So therefore, all of the legs for all of the socks are done. So yesterday that meant I did this much from the marker on this sock, and it is all ready for a heel. This one I don't have a contrast color for, so it's kind of the easiest one to take out and about. So later on, actually in about an hour, I'm going to be walking to Pilates, and I think I will take that sock with me for my walk because I can get a good chunk of the heel done while I'm walking. This sock, I think this is the sock that I didn't touch at all yesterday. Yeah, my marker hasn't moved. I didn't touch this one at all yesterday because I had finished that leg already when I checked in, but definitely hoping to get the heel on this one done today. This one has a beautiful contrast color that looks so cute with it, so I can't wait to get that one inserted in. And then I finished the leg. I am using my Fangirl Fibers, the wooden stitch marker from Sock Week 2022. It's so cute. So I did all of the ribbing and the transition here. Whenever you do a Fish Lips Kiss heel, it's recommended to do 1 inch of stockinette before starting the heel. So I did that and kept the ribbing going on the front. So I am part of the way into the heel on this one. I did that all during the live that I did just a bit ago. Mostly all of it. I started it right before. So my plan is to finish all 3 heels today. That is the goal. And I'm noticing that it's the evenings that seem to really get away from me, so I need to really think about how I'm going to do this. So here we go. The goal is to do heel 1, heel 2, and heel 3, and I've only just started on heel 1. So in order to actually make this happen today, I need to think differently. I need to finish this heel during my lunchtime. Maybe I will put on a timer and kind of see how long it actually takes me. That will help me better plan for the rest. I'm gonna guess it takes me at least an hour to complete a heel. Then what would be great is if I can start on this one during my walk and finish that one before an event that we have tonight. On the event tonight, I really don't expect myself to be able to ask questions during the event and knit, so I'm just not even going to worry about that. And then the event ends at 8 o'clock, and I will have approximately 2 hours to knit because I usually go to bed around 10, and that's when I will be able to do this heel. Now, if I can get even more done than that, I'll be able to also work on my shorts, which is outside of Sock Week, but I would really like to get those done, like so badly. But yeah, if I think about it that way, I think that's going to be helpful. So heel number 1 during lunch is what I'm going to go work on right now because it's my lunch break, and I'm going to have everything else ready to go. So I'll check back in with you tomorrow and we can see if I can finally have a day where I have completed my entire plan. Today is Friday, July 15th, and it is day 6 of Sock Week. For some reason, I can't get the song Austin by Blake Shelton out of my head today, so please send help. Love the song, but not on repeat. So good news, I was able to meet my Sock Week goal yesterday. I finished up this morning, still kind of measuring days from like noon to noon. It's about 11:15 right now. Actually, I have a timer on that I need to turn off so it doesn't go off during this. I just finished up the last heel of my sock, which means I got everything for sock week. Heel 1, heel 2, and heel 3 done in my Thursday time frame, but I still haven't been able to work on my non-sock week goal, which is my shorts. Today I have a new goal to move on to the foot, and I'll show that in just a second. I'll just show the 3 sock heels. So sock heel number 1, these are all Fish Lips Kiss heels, which is a pattern by Patty Joy White that I have been making for many, many years now. I absolutely love it. It's a short row heel and the pattern is only $1. So almost every single vanilla sock that I do on Ravelry, I link it as a Fish Lips Kiss heel because that's the pattern that I'm most likely doing. And even when I'm doing a pattern sock, like this one, for example, is Summer Lee's Totally Rad Rib Sock, I have inserted in the Fish Lips Kiss heel because it's my favorite. And then I just do the heel and foot as I please. But I'm gonna do perfect fit feet for each of these socks, which means I'm doing a gusset and foot adjustment or transition, and then I am doing my elongated ergonomic toes later on. Here's the last one that I just finished up this morning. 2 of the socks have, I think, 40 stitches for the heel, and this one had 37. It just depends on the gauge of the yarn itself. So today's goal is to do the foot transition on all 3 socks, and the foot transition is something for perfect fit socks where you do, it's basically a gusset. You're doing gusset decreases and foot decreases to get to that ball of foot measurement, and then tomorrow will be all the plain knitting. Ideally, I'm going to do 1 whole foot today, but I'm realizing that that's quite a lot of knitting because each of my transitions, well, I might be able to get most of it done. So I do have written transition 1, 2, and 3. So that's basically the gusset on 3 socks, and then foot number 1. So I'm trying to think. The transition for most of these socks is probably going to be something like 18 rows. Let me just actually look really quick. I have all the details again on my Ravelry project page. So my gusset for this sock here, this one, I'm just looking at my Ravelry page, I'm going to decrease from 64 stitches to 60 stitches. So that will be 4 rows. And then I'll do 6 rows in between, so that's 10. And then I will decrease to 52 stitches. That's an additional 8 rows, so 18 rows. So 18 rows on this sock and probably pretty similar on the others. So let's put that together. 18 times 3, I can do 18 times 2, 36, right? 18 times 3, that's 54 rows. And then if I add in, like for example, this sock has 46 just plain rounds where I'm not changing the stitch count at all. What did I just say, 46? Yeah, so 100 total rows. If I can do all of that today, that's 100 total rows. And let's do, this is fun. I don't know. It's so funny because it's been more of a challenge than I anticipated for sock week. I really thought I was gonna be like nailing these goals every single day. So it's humbling in a way to see like, okay, I haven't been very considerate of like the other things that I might have going on and not being able to knit quite as much as I thought I was going to. So it's very useful information here. So if I have 100 rows and it is almost noon and I go to bed at 10, actually that's perfect. I have 10 more hours left in the day. I can't knit during all of those hours, but let's just say I could. If I had to, then I would be, I don't know why I even divided that on the calculator. I would need to do 10 rows per hour for the next 10 hours, but I'm probably only going to knit out of like maybe 4 of those hours. So that would be 25 rows in an hour. Oh, I don't even know if I can do 25 rows in an hour. I did learn yesterday that it takes me about 80 minutes to do a Fish Lips Kiss heel. So I was doing them while I was walking to and from Pilates. I was working on them while I was watching Only Murders in the Building season 2 last night. And I was working on the heel while I was reading this morning. So I've been working on things at every opportunity that I can. I have definitely started to notice a little fatigue in my arms. So I'm doing smaller. I'm actually feeling much better now than I did last night. I could just really tell I needed to stop. So I'm doing really short, like 20-minute bursts of knitting and being very relaxed and then taking breaks, and that's really helping a lot because I don't want to overdo it. All right, I am going to carry on with some work here today, and I will get started on these feet and let you know how far I get tomorrow. Hey everyone, it is day 7 of sock week. It is Saturday, July 16th, and I'm sitting here in front of the Hudson River. I'm getting ready to do a YouTube live for today, and I apologize, it may be a little loud because the usual quiet spot that I go to, a boat was there being so loud with music, so I'm kind of here between people and cars and everything. But I was able to get my 3 socks started on the foot and the whole foot transition gusset done yesterday. So here's one. Need to pick out which one I'm going to work on during the live. Here is the second one. Foot transition all done. Markers are in, ready to do plain foot knitting today. And then the last one I did start on the foot a little bit this morning. I've only got a couple rows in, so here's the end of the heel, the foot transition, and then the start of just the plain foot rows where none of the stitch count changes. So originally, let me grab my notebook. Hold on, I got it. I have to have all my stuff with me here because after this I'm actually going to meet up with some people to knit, and I'm going to take the ferry there, so that's going to be really fun. Okay, so originally when I adjusted my schedule, I had planned to do the foot transitions plus 1 foot today or yesterday, but I decided after doing the 3 foot transitions that it didn't really make sense to also do the foot, and I kind of just needed a little bit of a break from using small needles. So I went back and I worked on my shorts last night, and I got I think I got like 6 rows done on that. So I only have 2 rows left to do on their shorts, hoping I can actually finish those tonight. So I moved the foot over to today, and I'm gonna be out and about a lot today, so we'll see if I can get all 3 feet done. I think they each have like 40 rows, so that's a lot of knitting, 120 rows. So now we have a helicopter going overhead. We shall see. That's my goal though, all 3 feet, so that tomorrow on Sunday, which is the last day of sock week, I just have toes and finishing work to do. It is Sunday, July 17th, and I cannot believe that it is day 8 of sock week, which means it's the last day. Now, of course, I'm going to check in one more day because I have to show you what I did today, and I will show that tomorrow. But I'm feeling pretty good as far as the last day goes. It's another story of didn't quite do exactly what I had planned to do, but I'm just using all of this information to kind of plan out how next year will look and make sure I'm doing things in a realistic way. This is the first time I'm filming, I think, this early in the morning, so there might be a little bit of a crazy sunlight here. So yesterday's plan was to, oh yeah, that's bright. Yesterday's plan was to do all 3 of the feet and start my vacation socks, which is like not a sock week thing, but I have other knitting that I want to make sure is still getting done and processed. And I ended up doing things a little bit differently. So I did finish 2 of the feet in their entirety, which I feel super good about, but I didn't even start foot number 3. But then I also got caught up on something else, non-sock week related, and got some things organized. So you know, it's a win some, lose some. So let me show you what I did get done, and I'll tell you what I've adjusted my plan for the final day. So I did do all of the foot on my Little Wolf Knits sock. That was 42 rounds. So I feel really good about getting all of that done. And then I did the full foot on my Yarn Over New York socks. These are the ones I took out and about with me. This was, I think, like 41 rounds or something like that. Every sock is slightly different just depending on the gauge of the sock. Again, I'm doing perfect fit for each of these, so I have my own formulas for that. And I yes, I took this one out and about with me. So I like went on the ferry yesterday, and then I went to meet some people to knit. And so that's what I was working on the whole time there, and just barely got started on the second one on the way home, but finished it up in the evening. And then I didn't touch this one at all. And I'll tell you what my plans are for today. Wait, I just pulled the wrong thing out. That's the first sock. I didn't touch this one at all. So all it has is the foot transition where I've been decreasing for the gusset. So I have like 40 something rounds of plain knitting to do and a toe on this one today. Now the other things that I did get done last night is I finally finished my Twisted Tea shorts knitting rounds, and I've just, can you see? The sun keeps coming in and out. I've just started binding off. So I definitely want to get these finished and blocking so that they are dry, because I'm also leading up to a vacation and I want to have some things finished and off the needles. I need these needles for another project. So I need to get them off the needles today. And then I spent some time doing some winding and vacation planning. So one of the things that was on my list was to start my vacation socks. So I wound them up last night. I wound up the yarn, got the needles, got a stitch marker in there. It's all prepared. I just haven't cast on. So in all honesty, if I don't get cast on before we leave for vacation on Tuesday, it's really okay. I can do that on the plane, not a big deal. And then I also wound up, I needed to wind these two out of a fade. The rest were already wound. You can see it's all pink. So if you're like, oh, it's just the bag, no, it's all pink. So I did a lot of like thinking and processing about this project last night, which is a dress I'm going to be making, hence why I need to finish this and get the needles free for that. So that was all really good. Like, it did take a big chunk of my evening, probably like an hour and a half to 2 hours of knitting time, which is probably when I could have done that foot of the sock, but it was nice to like do something different with my hands and everything. So that kind of gets us to, you know what, I'm just gonna cross off. Well, I haven't crossed off vacation socks yet, just in case I want to get those cast on. So this is kind of where we're at. We're like midway through Saturday yesterday. So I still need to do the foot number 3 for sure. And then if I want to get those vacation socks cast on, and then technically I need to bind off the shorts, but I was able to cross out those short rows. So that leaves us with Sunday. So a lot of expectations for today. I've already spent the morning doing some work, and I'm about to leave and go meet my friend Anne. So since I'm going to be out and about for a while, I'm going to go meet my friend Anne. So I'm going to be walking to her, meeting her, and then we're going to walk to a coffee shop. So the whole time that I'm walking, I am planning to work on the foot, which is actually kind of what made me think about saving the foot for today, because I have all this walking time. So plain in the round, no stitch count changes. I'm gonna be walking and knitting on this today for a good chunk of time. After I meet Anne, I'm also going to a Pilates class, and I might be walking there. I'm definitely gonna be walking home. So all of that time is gonna be really good for me to do plain knitting. So that will be my foot time. But then when I'm sitting with my friend at the coffee shop, that's when I'm planning to work on the toes. So I'm gonna bring all of these projects with me. Toes are pretty fast, so I just need to do the toe on this sock, and I just need to do the toe on the other sock. So I'm hoping I can do at least one toe while I'm sitting at the coffee shop. It would be amazing if I could get 2 toes done. Then if I got 2 toes done, all I would have to do is finish this sock, and that would be really, really motivating. So we'll see. I'm not entirely sure how long a toe takes me. I'm thinking 30 minutes or more, at least 30 minutes. So it's totally possible I could do 2 toes while at the coffee shop and then just have the one sock to work on. The other thing that I really want to get done today, really need to get done today, is I need to swatch for my dress project, which is in here, so that I can block it and have it dry by tomorrow and actually make plans for my vacation project. So it's a tall order for today. 3 toes, 1 foot, 1 swatch. We also have the closing ceremonies tonight, so I could always knit on my swatch during that. I probably won't. I probably will just be focused on what I need to do, but that's a good idea actually, because that's plain knitting. All right, that's the plan that I'm going with today, so wish me lots of luck. I'm going to be doing lots of out and about knitting today. Today is Monday, July 18th, and it is the day after Sock Week. Sock Week is officially over, and as of 10 a.m., it's now 10:08 a.m., the submission form is closed, and I'm about to go and pull the prize winners. But of course, I need to wrap up here and let you know, was I able to finish 3 socks in a week? And the answer is right here. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, one of these pairs is still wet, but ta-da! All 3 of my socks are done, which means all 3 pairs are done. These ones are soaking wet because I just finished them up this morning. I'll explain why I waited to the morning to finish them. It was intentional. But I finished the toes this morning. They still smell like pina colada from Lily Ray Crochet Co.'s wool wash. They smell so, so good. These ones I finished up yesterday, and they are dry. I mean, I'll leave them a little bit longer, but they are like pretty much dry. I got these on my Fangirl Fibers Sock Week blockers, and these on some of my other just favorite wooden blockers. Oh, those are a little damp actually. Let me flip those over. The reason I'm sitting here on the floor of the living room is because in front of me, where the camera is standing, I have my blocking board out. I did a ton of knitting work last night. Like I said previously, I'm preparing to go out of town, so I did so many more things other than just Sock Week socks last night, but it does explain the reason why I waited till this morning to finish these toes. And I'm still considering that getting them done in the time of Sock Week because, one, I could have finished them last night but did something else instead, and I was really kind of working on these weird like noon to noon days, so I feel really, really good about getting everything done. So here's my final showing of the plan. Everything is crossed out except for my vacation socks because I haven't technically started them yet. I even finished my shorts, which means they're all crossed out. I finished my swatches, kind of. So I even checked things off here. Again, I know that's not Sock Week related, but it was important. So I did so much blocking last night. I have 2 little blocking tubs. And so I had one where I just kept putting socks after socks in them. And the other one, I did a sweater. I did my shorts. They're still pretty wet, so I'm just gonna leave them. And then I did some swatching. I made 2 swatches last night instead of doing the toe on this final sock. So I got it to the end of the foot. And then I was like, okay, I need to do these swatches tonight so that they can dry and I can get an accurate measurement tomorrow, today, for going on vacation. And so I was like, that's the smart choice. That's what I'm gonna do. I can finish up the toe in the morning, no problem. And that did work beautifully, except that once I did 2 swatches because this is for a dress. Part of it's worked flat, so I did 1 swatch flat and 1 in the round to see if my gauge would be different. I did this in the round swatch second, and as I was cutting to flatten it, I realized this is not the same base as the yarn that I'm using. So I stayed up late, I pretty much did all the swatching, skipped on the toe, or delayed the toe, for no reason. I'm still gonna have to do more swatches today on the right base of yarn. But that story is for another time. Hopefully I can still use these to see if there's enough of a difference between my flat knitting and my in the round knitting that warrants a needle change. And if there's not much of a difference here, I will just do 1 swatch in the round for the proper base, since that is what most of the project is. So it wasn't a total loss, but that's why I did wait until this morning to finish up my Sock Week socks. Okay, let's just do a quick overview of these beautiful socks, and then I have a couple lessons that I've learned, and then we're gonna wrap up because I know this is a long video. So these are my totally rad ribbed socks. All of the projects are gonna be linked down below. This is a pattern by Summer Lee. I pretty much followed the pattern. I made a couple of adjustments, like I knit my tabbed cuff together instead of sewing it after. I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel, and I did some transitioning here, and then I did a perfect fit foot, which just means I did it to my measurements with a gusset transition and an ergonomic toe. Then I have Yarn Over New York, Jessie's yarn. These are all, I did 2x2 ribbing. These are all cuffed down. And I did a perfect fit sock, including a Fish Lips Kiss Heel by Patty Joy White. And then these ones that are still wet, because I just blocked them this morning. Also from the top down, I did a 1x1 rib. And this is Olivia and Oliver fibers. I used the mini that came with the set. And I did a perfect fit sock with an ergonomic toe. And ergonomic toes are right and left toes, where you change the rate of decreases on the pinky toe side, different from the big toe side, so that you don't have extra fabric on your pinky toes if needed. Okay, so I learned a lot this year. That's one thing I asked people yesterday when we did the closing ceremonies. It's like, what did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about your making that is helping you maybe in the future or maybe for next sock week? So I learned that I like to bite off way more than I can chew, and I think I'm seeing this in a lot of areas in my life, but especially in knitting, and it's so unnecessary for that to happen in knitting, because knitting should be fun, it should be enjoyable. Now, challenges are enjoyable for me. I really like that. I like that extra push, but I think I did a little too much this week, and I think I would have had a more enjoyable time maybe doing one less sock. I think that would have been really manageable to do 2 socks. So I think going to next year, that's going to be my goal. There were some times during this whole week where I felt kind of like a machine, like I just need to knit, need to knit, need to knit. And while that is fun, and I'm like very proud of myself for getting all these 3 socks done, again, it's just not necessary to have to do that. It was funny, I went ahead and edited everything in this video up until this point yesterday, and I was watching through and I was watching my process, and there was one day when I did the heels that I actually met my goal. Aside from today, which is it's the only day that really counts, is the end. The journey, how you get there, is gonna look different for all of us, but hopefully you made it to your goal or tried as hard as you could to get there and really found that you can do so much more than you thought that you can do. Thank you so much for watching this journey. I hope it was fun to see things day by day, and I hope you'll be joining us for our next sock make along, which is called Sockmas. It's going to be in November, late November this year, but I will start teasing and talking about it in October. So be on the lookout. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.